Currently, at the height of high-tech and sleek design, it's difficult to believe Samsung was once a one-man grocery store trading local produce in South Korea. The journey to becoming the world's second-largest tech company, boasting a market capitalization of $521 billion in 2019, wasn't entirely a walk in the park. This is the incredible Samsung company story, from its humble import-export beginnings to global tech domination. Before we continue, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button below to get a notification on our next video. Samsung was a grocery trading store in Daegu, South Korea, founded in 1938 by a local businessman, Byung-Chull. According to Samsung's founder, the Korean hanja word Samsung means 3 stars. The word 3 meaning something big, numerous and powerful, while stars means everlasting or eternal, like stars in the sky. The store traded noodles, dried fish, fruit and vegetables, and other local produce in and around the city. They exported the goods to China. After the Korean War in the early 1950s, Byung-Chull's grocery trading business also ventured into textiles, opening the largest woolen mill in Korea. Byung-Chull's focus on industrialization helped revamp Korea's economy. During this fraught financial period for the country, the South Korean government nurtured domestic firms with easy financing and protected them from the competition. Samsung was among those braced by the chaebol, the support of large domestic companies, since the early 1960s, securing a string of loans and other business support. However, Samsung Electronics was eventually launched in 1969, opening electronic-focused divisions within the company. In 1971, Samsung Electronics started exporting one of its first electronic goods, black and white televisions. By the mid-1970s, Samsung ventured into washing machines and fridges, before creating and mass-producing color TVs, while continuing its black and white models. By the 1970s, Samsung launched subsidiaries including Samsung Shipbuilding, Samsung Heavy Industries, and Samsung Precision Company to be a part of these growing industries. They also started to invest in the chemical and petrochemical industries. In 1974, Samsung Electronics acquired Hankook Semiconductor, making them the market leader in memory chips in the early 1990s. A position they retained and improved upon, becoming the world's leading manufacturer of semiconductors. At the moment, even most Apple iPhones use Samsung memory chips. The 1970s saw Samsung start to export home electronic products abroad, and by 1978, it had produced 4 million black and white TVs, the most in the world at the time. That same year, Samsung opened its first overseas office in the US. In 1984, it exported its first VCRs to America. Then, they also changed their name to Samsung Electronics Company Ltd, and sales exceeded 1 trillion won, the equivalent of 3.4 trillion won today, approximately $3 billion. In 1987, Byung-Chull died of lung cancer. Byung-Chull's son, Lee Kwon-hee, filled his father's position. Walking over controversy and corruption, he transformed Samsung into the global power it is today. He got frustrated with the reputation of making poor quality goods, and in 1993, Kwon-hee told his employees to change everything except their wives and children. Because of this, the company experienced a major transformation, rebranding itself as a top player in the manufacturing of quality tech. However, 2 years later, when Samsung's first mobile phone models were released, they were once again reported to be riddled with defects. The turning point came when Kwon-hee visited the phone manufacturing plant and demanded staff burn the 100,000 to 150,000 phones in production on the factory floor. After the utter destruction of the ridicule-generating phones, the rebirth of the Samsung brand was celebrated as a textbook case of successful rebranding strategy. As expected, after the highly successful rebranding strategy, Samsung actually made better mobile phones. In 1999, it launched the world's first MP3 mobile phone. Though Nokia topped the mobile phone market in the 1990s, Samsung continued to modernize handsets. By 2002, Samsung's SGHT100, the first mobile phone to use film transistor active matrix LCD, was one of the best-selling phones, selling 12 million handsets worldwide. When Cohen-Hees decided to adapt to a digital program, Samsung targeted an area where it didn't have to play catch-up. So, in 1998, Samsung created the world's first digital TV. This rapid expansion in the 1990s came with its controversies though, as multiple bribery cases and patent infringement suits plagued the company. However, these didn't hinder Samsung's growth. Meanwhile, the 2000s saw Samsung develop new technologies for the TV industry, intended to improve viewing experiences for customers. In 2007, Samsung's global sales surpassed $100 billion, and by the end of 2008, it was the world's leading TV producer, a significant step up from its former reputation for making clumsy black and white TVs. In 2008, Cohen-Hees was found guilty of tax evasion and embezzlement, and he resigned from Samsung. Cohen-Hees received a suspended 3-year sentence and was fined $100 million. However, Samsung continued to lead as a global electronics center. In 2009, Samsung released its first Android-powered device, a smartphone known as the Samsung Galaxy i7500. The original Galaxy users criticized Samsung for the phone's lack of firmware updates. Launched 9 months after the original Galaxy, the Galaxy S was Samsung's first Android smartphone to enjoy mainstream commercial success. The phone made sales of more than 25 million units. South Korea's president, Lee Myung-bak, eventually pardoned Cohen-Hees. And, after he received a special amnesty, Samsung's former chairman returned to helm the company after a 2-year absence. His return occurred after Samsung made record sales in 2009. Later in 2011, it was announced South Korea would host the 2018 Winter Olympics. As the demand for Galaxy smartphones continued to rise with the company's disgraced chairman returned to the helm, a book named Think Samsung was published in 2010. The book was written by Samsung's former chief legal counsel, Byung-Chull. It made astonishing claims about Cohen-Hees' corruption, alleging he stole around $10 billion from Samsung subsidiaries, bribed government officials, and destroyed evidence. Notwithstanding the allegations stated in the book, most of South Korea's mainstream media refused to run the story, perceiving an attack on Samsung as an attack on South Korea itself. Meanwhile, Samsung continued to focus on new products. After the release of Apple's new iPad, Samsung launched the Galaxy Tab in 2010 to compete. But it wasn't received well, and was dubbed an oversized smartphone in ill-fitting clothes. It used Android 2.2 with no tablet optimization. In spring 2011, Apple began to litigate against Samsung in patent infringement suits around the design of Samsung's smartphones. By October, the two tech giants were entangled in 19 ongoing cases across 10 countries. Eventually, the protracted legal disputes between Samsung and Apple were settled. In 2012, a US court ruled that Samsung had infringed the copyright of the design of Apple's iPhone, and Apple was awarded $548.2 million 3 years later. However, in a fresh twist in 2016, the Supreme Court sided with Samsung, who had been seeking to cut back $399 million of its previous debt, as reported by The Guardian. Notwithstanding the dent from the copyright infringement ruling, in 2013, Samsung was named the world's largest tech company by the annual Fortune 500 list, which ranks the world's largest corporations by revenue. Samsung occupied the position 5 places above their rival, Apple, reporting revenues of $178.6 billion and profits of $20.6 billion. Interestingly, further challenges were awaiting the South Korean tech giant. In 2016, the company permanently stopped the production of its high-end Galaxy Note 7 smartphones after receiving reports of the phones catching fire because of faults with their batteries. This decision cost Samsung $5.3 billion and immensely damaged the company's reputation. Apparently, the Samsung company wasn't getting any respite anytime soon. Their tribulations continued in 2017 when BBC reported that the vice chairman and heir to the Samsung empire, Lee Jae-yong, was found guilty of bribery and cronyism. He was sentenced to 5 years in jail in August of that year, though he denied the charges. However, 6 months later in February 2018, Jae-young's sentence was halved, and the rest of the jail term suspended by Seoul High Court. After the Galaxy Note 7 debacle, Samsung tried to push past all of that by unveiling a prototype of the world's first foldable smartphone by the end of 2018. However, just days before the advertised release date of the Galaxy Fold, the tech firm postponed the launch due to broken screens. Users had reportedly removed a film they thought to be a protective layer of the phone, but it turned out to be a part of it. After Samsung made some complete improvements, the nearly $2,000 device was launched in September 2019. In 2018, Samsung opened the world's largest mobile manufacturing facility in Noida, India, with guests including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Despite being burdened with controversies, scandals, and setbacks over the years, Samsung is now the 17th largest company in the world. Not bad for a one-man dried fish selling startup. What do you think about Samsung's company story? What do you think the future holds for this company? Thanks for watching this video. Please share your opinions in the comments section below, and remember to click the subscribe button to be the first person to watch new videos on this channel.